Hi kids, my name's Nicole and this is Let's Make Art and you are here to paint, and today we are doing beautiful sunflowers inspired by the famous artist Vincent van Gogh.
Love that guy.
So it is so cool because we're learning about all these different famous artists. And so today we have a few different supplies that we're using. We have our watercolor paper that already has an outline. Now, if you don't have this outline and you want to join us, you could either draw it, or you can go to our website and go to our outline library and type in Vincent van Gogh. Then you'll see that I taped my paper down already. I used my favorite, it's a little bit see-through tape, so I really like this, so I use that tape. And then you'll notice that there's a pipe cleaner. So you might have, if you got our box, you have got a whole pack of pipe cleaners, but we're gonna use it for the stem, so grab one of the green colors. And then the other fun thing is we're gonna use this paper that is actually a coffee filter.
Ooh, plot twist.
So if you don't have one of these, maybe one of your grown-up has one of them. And then, we're gonna use glue. So the coffee filters are what made these beautiful flowers, and then we need to glue these to our paper. So we're making a 3D element to our painting today.
Cool.
Now, the other thing is that on your area, so artists can be messy, so it's okay if you're messy.
I know some artists that
Make
are
sure
messy.
your table, look at our table. Your table can get messy, or what I would suggest is grab your box if you have that, and we're gonna use that to paint our flowers on, so that will help. Now, the colors I'm using are magenta and deep yellow, because I'm gonna use that to mix orange, and then a blue called azure blue. But if you have any colors, I want you to, as always, paint along with us. Now, let's move this. We don't need that for right now. Okay, so our first step is I would like you to raise your right hand and repeat after me. Sit up tall. I am brave.
I am brave.
I am kind.
I am kind.
And I am creative.
And I am creative.
Let's do this. And then fist pump if you're with someone. And then let's introduce you to Keenan, or if you know him already.
Reintro?
This is what he looks like.
Rontro. Hello.
So he's here painting with you and I together today. Now, Vincent van Gogh was an amazing artist.
Yes,
He's done
he was.
So many different types. So if you're like, wait, why do I know that name? He did also the Starry Night project. So we have a whole box also that does a few different artists, but this is his Starry Night project, or inspired by it. So that's why you might think, I've heard him before. So we're gonna learn a little bit more about him and his sunflower paintings. But the first thing is that I want to start, so we're gonna start with the background. So squeeze out a little bit of your blue on your palette.
Do you know how many paintings he created?
No, I don't actually.
Around 2,100.
2,000?
Including 860 oil paintings.
Wow.
Most of which date from the last 2 years of his life.
Yeah, he made a lot at the end. These were his sunflowers were made at the end of his life too.
Whoa.
So I squeeze a little bit of blue, but what I want you to do is on your palette, put out a little bit of your blue there, and then we're gonna make a light blue. Now, this is what his paintings look like. So you can see he had some that had yellow backgrounds. This one had a light blue. So if you would like to do a light blue, add water to your blue, and we're gonna make it really light, because that's the magic trick. Water plus color equals a lighter color. But I want you to remember that you are creative and you are an artist. So if you want to paint this background purple, you can do that. I want you to know that whenever we paint here together, you get to make it your own. I'm just here to kind of hang out with you and paint. So we're gonna paint the whole background. Now, I'm doing it pretty quickly, which you can, and I'm just using my big brush because it's a really big area. So if you have a big area, think big brush if you have that. So there's the background. Now, the other color is we have the table. Now, I want to show you how you can make a light brown. But again, if you want to make a different color, you can. But brown is you're going to mix the three primary colors we have. So we have 1 drop of blue. We're gonna do 5 drops of this magenta. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then lots of yellow. So we're gonna do 8 drops of yellow. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So whenever you mix the 3 primary colors, it makes either a black or a brown, depending on what you have. But you'll see, do you see how dark that color is? But I wanna make it a light color, so I'm gonna do the same magic trick what we learned, and I'm gonna add a lot of water. Now you'll see this kind of color if you're trying to go with a similar color is a little bit red. So this is when you get to become a color magician, where you get to mix and kind of see what happens if you add a little bit of yellow, or if you add a little bit of blue, what happens. You get to figure out what you want your painting to look like, and it's also really fun to just see what happens. Because color mixing is something that I think is really cool, because you can start with one color and then you get a whole different color just by 1 drop.
I love color mixing. It can be challenging.
Yes, it can be challenging.
It's a lot of fun.
But if you just think, if I just give it a try, it won't hurt, then you won't be scared of it. So there we go. We painted our table. Now, the next step is I'm gonna let this dry, and we're gonna move on to our coffee filter. So grab your coffee filter. Now this is really, really big. So if I were to do that, which could be fun, it could be one really, really big sunflower. Now,
oh, that would be really fun.
if you wanna do smaller ones, grab scissors, or if you don't have scissors, you can rip it. But I'm actually just gonna kind of see and just cut, and I'm just gonna cut circles out of this one coffee filter. So there's, again, no right or wrong way to do this. You can make them small, you can make them big. If you wanna do one really big one like Keaton was saying,
Yeah.
that could be really fun. But I'm just cutting it. And you might be thinking, wait, Nicole, why can't we use watercolor paper? You can, but I wanna show you the fun and beauty of these coffee filters because they're thinner. So we're gonna be able to get some fun colors here. So cut, I would do 3 or 4, but you can do however many you like. Okay, so cut those out. Now, I'm gonna place them in my box. So again, I grabbed my art box because I'm gonna paint inside of here. And then what you're gonna do is I'm gonna grab my big brush, and I'm gonna squeeze out some yellow on my palette. And you are going to dip in color and watch. We're just gonna paint right on this coffee filter. What? Isn't that cool?
So cool.
So we're just painting directly on this. Now, you might have, do sunflowers come in different colors?
Maybe. I know that if you put some flowers in food coloring, they'll change color over time. So yeah, you could probably have, maybe that pitcher, that thing of water, the vase, has special color water in it, and it'll just change those colors.
They've made them different colors. And you don't have to do sunflowers too. If you want to do different flowers, you can do that. So we're gonna paint all of these.
Did you know Vincent van Gogh did not become famous until after he passed away?
I just learned that.
Isn't that crazy?
So when he was alive, he wasn't that famous, but then after.
And I don't remember how long after, but I think it was his sister-in-law who started
his brother's sister.
Yeah. His brother's
wife.
Yeah. So his sister-in-law started to release his letters with his personal artwork to his brother before he passed away to the public of some sort. And it got very popular, and then his paintings came out later.
That's so cool. Feels like that reminds you that why you're doing it isn't to be famous, you're just doing it to have fun, and then you never know what could happen.
True. And he passed away in July of 1890.
Oh yeah, and when was he born?
Well, he was 37,
It's on
so
our thing.
1890 minus 37, 53.
1853. So he was born a very long time ago.
Yes.
Okay, so now I did all my yellow. What I want you to do is sunflowers, when you're looking at it, they have different edges or the ridges of the flower. So we're gonna mix orange. So to mix orange is lots of yellow. 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's do 6 drops of yellow. So lots of yellow and just 1 drop of magenta because the magenta is really strong. And I want to mix the orange so that we create some dimension. So on my coffee filter is from the center, I'm just going to make lines like that around. So it's kind of like a clock, right? Does that remind you of a clock?
Totally. Or slices of a lemon.
Oh yeah, or yeah. That's a really good way of thinking about it. So I'm just adding lines from the center. And this is to just give it some dimension. And then the other part is sunflowers have these really big, bright centers that are brown. So we need to mix that as well. Oh, and I have brown right here.
Oh.
So I can just use that. But if you want to mix brown and you don't have this right now, it's 1 drop of blue, 5 drops of magenta, and 8 drops of yellow. So again, the 3 colors. So I have this brown here, so I'm going to use that. And I'm going to add some just dots. Whoa! Is that on the side cam?
Oh, yes it is.
Look how cool.
Oh my goodness, they're just crawling around.
So because it's wet, this is kind of like our wet on wet technique that we like to do with watercolors. So I'm just adding some dots to my center because the sunflowers have dots like that. Wow, this is so fun. Yes. Okay. Now, clean your brush, and I'm gonna lift these up a little bit, and I'm gonna let these dry. Oh, paint in my box, that's fun. So we're gonna let these dry, and while that's drying, we're going to continue to paint, because now this is dry, so it's a good time to do this. So we have our vase. So do you see how, let me show you. On Vincent van Gogh's vase, he has the vase right here. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna be inspired and look at this line right here. So it's not a straight line, it's curved because the vase is round. So what we're gonna do is you're going to pick a color that you want to paint with. I'm gonna use the same color that we were doing. And I want you to pick a color, and somewhere in the center, I want you to draw a curve that's kind of like a smiley face. So draw a curve. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna paint the vase, but I want you to start from one of the sides and paint in, and then paint on the other side and paint in too. So what I wanna teach you is that we're gonna make this vase look round. So I'm gonna paint in, but I'm gonna leave a little bit of white along this kind of middle edge. So not all the way at the edge and not all the way in the middle, but around right here, because what is happening is a light is hitting this and reflecting. So you'll notice when I'm painting, let me do the bottom part and show you, is I am doing a stroke. So I'm not going like this and kind of going like this. What I want you to try, we're gonna become an artist, because we are artists, is I want you to paint and lift up. Do you see that?
Ooh, like a swiper.
Yeah, oh, I like that. So let's go the other way. So let's go from the edge to the center. So I'm just doing this and then lifting up. So think push up, push up. So we're swiping. Cool. So do you see how I don't wanna make perfect lines. I like how it's a little bit jagged, and so that helps it make it look round. Does it look round?
It does look round.
Yes. So there is your
looks like
vase.
Winnie the Pooh's honey pot.
It totally does. I like that. Okay. Now we have our pipe cleaners. So these are fun. And if you don't have these, you can paint, you can mix green and you can paint your stems with that. But I'm gonna use scissors and I'm gonna cut, let's see. I'm just gonna cut a few stems for my leaves. And if you don't have scissors, what you can do is you can bend them. Pipe cleaners are really bendy.
Pipe cleaners are neat.
So you can bend them. We actually have a project inspired by Matisse where we're using pipe cleaners and bending them. So you can do that as well. But I'm just gonna make them different sizes. And then this is when your glue comes in handy. And you're going to add glue. Maybe I'll use my box, that might help. So I'm gonna put this in my box and I'm gonna add glue. If you need some help, you can ask a grown-up if they're around to help you. But I'm just adding glue to that one side, and then I'm gonna turn it over and push. So we're adding our stems, and you might need to press and hold it down for a little bit to keep it down, but we're gonna repeat those steps. So again, you're using Elmer's glue to glue the back and then flip it over and then hold for your stems. Sweet, okay, so we glued our stems down. Now, I want you to make sure that your flowers are dry. If they're not, you might need to wait a little bit longer or use a tool to dry it off if you have something like this. But ours are good now. So you're gonna grab your glue again, and you're gonna take one of your sunflowers, and I want you to either on your paper or on your sunflower, I want you to add some glue. And you're going to place your sunflower anywhere. Now, I like overlapping it over the pipe cleaner because then it really looks like the what are they called? The leaves or the flowers, the petals. That's the
petals.
The petals of the flowers are kind of coming up. So I'm just placing the flowers along the edges of my painting. Now, we were saying Vincent van Gogh was born in the Netherlands.
Yes, he was.
So it's really cool. So we learned about Frida, she was born in Mexico, and now we're learning about Vincent van Gogh, where he was born in the Netherlands. And you know what also is cool about these flowers? Is this would make a beautiful gift. I feel like, wouldn't this be cool if you gave this to someone? Maybe you make another one instead of, if you can't give them real flowers, what if you made them your own painting of flowers? Like
custom flowers. What if it could be their favorite color instead of yellow?
Yeah, it's a good idea.
You know?
So do you see how I just kind of layered them like that? You can do them any other way. And what I want to show you is we're gonna show a picture and give a shout out to Brandy. This is her 4th grade class. Look at all the flowers.
Oh my goodness.
As I was just saying, you can make different ones. So you can take this project and make it so many different ways. So this was so fun, Brandy. This is awesome. You did this with your 4th grade class. So we want to see what you make. As always, we have a Facebook group called Let's Make Art Kids projects, and we have an Instagram called Let's Make Art Kids, and we want to see your flower painting. I hope you had fun learning about this famous artist, and you are an artist just like him, being able to create this. He was actually known, one more fun fact, he was known for expressive strokes. So like when you saw with his Starry Night, but like we also learned with this type of stroke that we did. So you're an artist just like him. So good job. So always remember that you're brave, kind, and so creative, and we'll see you next time. Bye.